Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kesme 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next few minutes. Chieftaincy Ministry denies reports that President Akufo-Addo asked the overlord of Gonja land, the Yagbonwura, to stand up to greet him as custom demands. We'll bring you more as reports emerge that there is tension between governing party and opinion leaders over the president's recent visit to the northern part of the country. Also, National Chairman of MPP Stephen Intim says the party will begin reconciliation talks with failed independent parliamentary candidate for Ejuso Kwabena Owusu Aduomi. And much later, as Ghana joins the rest of the world to observe Workers' Day, the Civil and Local Staff Association of Ghana, CLOCSAC, is calling on civil servants to vote for a government that will uphold the integrity of the service in the upcoming 2024 elections. Plus, police arrest one person in connection with the shooting of a military man at Millennium City in Kaswa. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, it's a story that has gone viral on social media that the president asked the king of Gonja land, Yagbonwura, to stand up to greet him during a public event when Mr. Akufo-Addo visited the northern region. But the Chieftaincy Ministry is denying that report. In a statement, the ministry highlighted the importance of safeguarding the country's culture and ensuring that people respect the elderly and leaders above them, including the president of the land. The response follows recent comments criticizing the president for disrespecting the chief of the area. I'll just read a portion of that statement to you. It says that in response to recent discussions regarding our traditional norm of showing respect or standing up to greet our president, Nana Akufo-Addo at the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs issues this statement to provide clarity on the matter. It says the tradition of showing respect for authority, deeply ingrained in Ghanaian culture, holds significant importance in fostering unity, order, and mutual respect within communities. As a symbol of this tradition, it is customary for individuals to stand when greeting elders, leaders, or persons of authority as a gesture of deference and reverence. I read the last but one of that statement, which says, for the avoidance of doubt, it is important to reiterate that at no point during the president's visit to Damango on Saturday, the 27th of April 2024, was the Yagbonwura asked to stand up and greet the president. As minister, I was with the president at the event, and as seen clearly in videos, the president, beaming with smiles, walked over and paid homage to the Yagbonwura, who was the host of the event in Damango. The general public is urged to avoid this deliberate and misleading piece of propaganda which is being distributed by mischief makers. So those were excerpts of that statement issued by the Chieftaincy Ministry last night. I'm joined by Christopher Amwako. He's our correspondent in the northern region. Christopher, you were at that event and you have also monitored discussions that followed after. Tell us what you know.
Yes, so Beatrice, when the president arrived, the crowd actually was cheering him, even though he arrived late for the program. So when he arrived, he walked straight to go and pay homage to the Yagbonwura. Because of the crowd, I could not actually see what transpired there. So yesterday I was at the Yagbonwura's palace, that's the Japa Palace, to find out as to what actually happened. Even though the people around the Yagbonwura actually admitted that the delegation that led the president, that is the Land and Natural Resources Minister, who is a son of the land, the MPP chairman, and other individuals were directing the linguist of the chief to allow him to get up and shake hands with the president, but the Yagbonra declined and sat. So if you look at the video, you see the Yagbonra waving his hand and speaking Gonja, saying that he will not get up. And that was actually what happened. The Yagbonra declined to stand up and shake the president, and so he had to sit. But the MPP in the region have since denied allegations of the president commanding the Yagbonra to get up, just as the Chieftaincy Ministry has also issued a statement denying the allegations.
Indeed. Has there been any official response to the statement coming from the Chieftaincy Ministry?
There hasn't been any official response from the palace, because what I can say, Beatrice, is that the MPP, after the event, sent a delegation to go and apologize to the Yagbonra for whatever that happened. But the Yagbonra said he was not ready to take any apology from anyone. And so, as it stands now, he has also dissolved every committee that is working for the palace, because he believes that the committees, including the political parties in the region, are putting his name into disrepute, and so he does not want anyone closer to him, and he has since refused to accept any apology from the MPP.
Having said that, we're also learning that there is unseeming tension, as it were, brewing between the governing party and opinion leaders in Savannah region over this very recent visit we're talking about. What can you tell us?
Yes, so as it stands now, the Gonjaland Youth Association PRO has issued a video, and for him, he believes that it is the Land and Natural Resources Minister, who is a son of the land, who is causing all these troubles, and has since warned him that this should be the last time he will veto any program in the Savannah region. The NDC have also issued a statement to that effect, warning the Land and Natural Resources Minister, who, according to them, is the reason why the president disrespected the king of Gonja.
Let's see how things unfold. Thank you very much, Christopher Marco, reporting live from the northern region. I'm also joined by lawyer Yao Frimpong Anoche. He's a cultural historian. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You have monitored events as well. You have equally seen that statement coming from the Chieftaincy Ministry. How do you interpret these?
Well, first of all, let me say a big thank you. That means congratulations and acknowledgement to the Yagbonra for refusing to stand up to politics. I wouldn't want to mention a personality which will make it look like MPP NDC affair or put me in the the arena of the confusion. No. What I want to say is that tradition, custom has no beginning and nobody knows when it will end. But when it comes to law, like the Constitution or any act of parliament, we know the dates on which they were promulgated. Now, custom says that our chiefs are not supposed to get up and respect anybody in public. No, they give respect. They are human beings. They give respect to their wives in their kitchens, in their bedrooms, in their whatever, anywhere. But the moment they come out, they are revered like gods. That is why they are not called by their official names, but they are given stool names or skin names. The moment they get to the throne, they become different human beings altogether. And this is backed by Article 270 of the Constitution, that Parliament and beyond Parliament, and there is no power beyond Parliament in terms of lawmaking, can make any law or regulation that will reduce the power of chiefs, and for that matter, chieftaincy.
So, Lawyer Noche, how then do you interpret Article 57.2, which says the president shall take precedence over all other persons in Ghana, which was actually also quoted in the statement from the chieftaincy ministry?
It says that president shall take precedence over all other personalities in Ghana. Yes, he is the first citizen of the country, dealing with everybody. But the Constitution under Article 11 says that among the laws of Ghana is customary law. And the president is not above the law. Please, just understand. The president as a human being, when you are counting human beings, he is the first citizen of the country. That is why even his wife, who is not mentioned in any law of Ghana, and for that matter, nobody elects her to that position to be given the accolade as First Lady, is still respected and given the dignity as First Lady of the land. That is the reason why. But when you please, let me conclude. When you take away persons and you are going to law, there is no human being that is above the law. And the law under Article 11 of the apex law of the country, that is the Constitution, says that customary law is to be respected. And under Ghana's customary law is chieftaincy. That is the primus inter pares of all customary laws in the country. That is the chief. The chief is the embodiment of our law. And the law says that under Article 270, the president is not above the chief, at least when they meet. The law says that you are not the one to instruct him. At least you have come to him. You know, you are a guest, and he is the host. And even when he is a guest, you should respect the custom of the people under Article 11 of the Constitution. And he would likewise respect you as a very important human being who has been elected by all the 31 or 32 million people of Ghana.
We'll have to end it here, unfortunately, because of time. But thank you very much for speaking to us, lawyer Yao Frimpong Anoche, who is also a cultural historian. Thank you for bringing us your understanding of this event that took place. Now, the Trades Union Congress says it will ensure that workers are paid their benefits when they retire, despite claims by the ILO that pension will be depleted by 2036. To mark this year's May Day, the TUC says that organized labor is studying the ILO findings and will soon come out with its position on the management of SNED funds in the country. Deputy General Secretary of the TUC, Joshua Ansah, spoke with our correspondent, Daniel Opoku, in Accra.
For pension issues, organized labor is discussing it, and you will come out at an appropriate time. But we have the hope that you will ensure that nothing goes wrong with our contributions with the institution called SNED. As for the ILO report, it's an actuarial report which has come. We have not read it, we have not studied it. Let us study it, let us read it, and we will come at an appropriate time to tell the whole world about the authenticity of that very report. And I'm very sure that we have enough reserve that will not be depleted so that people go on pension, they will not be paid their pensions. Aside that, I think that you will continue to study the report, and whatever is in it, organized labor will discuss it and let the whole workers hear or see what is in the report. But the assurance I want to give workers is that they should rest assured. Their monies will be paid when they go on retirement, and those of us on the board will ensure that SNED invests in an investment that will give us good returns.
You heard a Deputy General Secretary of the TUC, Joshua Ansah. Meanwhile, the Civil and Local Staff Association of Ghana, CLOGSAG, has called on civil servants to vote for a government that will uphold the integrity of the service in the upcoming elections. Executive Secretary of CLOGSAG, Isaac Bampo Ado, was addressing a news conference to mark this year's May Day celebration in Accra.
Who have taken over the functions of active civil servants, it is no wonder that their bad decisions have culminated in the economic chaos of the country. There are also instances of party activists interfering in the work of the staff of the civil and local government service. An extreme case is the harassment of a district coordinating director who was literally dragged out of his office by party activists. There are also instances of knockouts and assaults of staff of the district assemblies across the country by party functionaries. These irresponsible acts are as a result of the disregard for the principles of neutrality, anonymity, and permanence as the hallmark of the two civil services. Unfortunately, the adherence to the principle of neutrality in the civil service and local government service has been viewed as a one-sided phenomenon instead of being two-sided. While the worker should be neutral and should not show any form of discrimination, partisanship, or bias in his work, the employer government is equally expected not to appoint political elements into the system. Where a person is politically cornered, the perception of neutrality is weak and public trust wanes. Eventually, democracy suffers. The Supreme Court ruling on 14 June 2017.
You heard that the Executive Secretary of CLOCSAC, Isaac Bampardo, Labour Affairs correspondent Daniel Opoku is monitoring today's celebrations for us. Joins us live on the line. Daniel, I also know that the President has spoken at this event. Give us a wrap of what has happened so far.
Right, so the President just finished speaking to all the Labour unions and every worker who is present here. And basically, when you look at the state of the President, he has itemized them into some sections. The first part has to look at the upcoming elections where he was calling for peace, and he called on organized labor to be active participants in this year's elections, but also to support governments in whatever policy argument to be rolling. The other aspect has to look at the macroeconomic conditions currently. The President admits that there are difficulties, and for that reason, government is trying to fashion out a policy that will ensure the economy bounce back. A short while ago, I spoke with the Ghana Employees Association, and the CEO was telling me the need for government to introduce a macroeconomic stability. That's exactly what they are calling for, which the President also agrees to that. And most important to the President is the new Labour Act, which is currently to be passed. Currently before Parliament. That copy has been submitted to the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations, which the ministry is going through, and very soon it will be tabled on top of the President's table, then later to go to Parliament when everything is concluded. They're basically trying to create some kind of cohesion and conducive environment between the tripartite. Don't talk about tripartite, talk about government, you talk about labor, they also talk about the Ghana Employees Association. When you have the tripartite, that's a partnership at the forefront. That's what the President is calling for. They need to be able to have that closeness and close partnership that will foster the growth of the economy. Among some of these is what the President has been talking about. Most important, the need for peace, also conducive environment. And the coming days, in the coming day, the President is going to engage organized labor on a series of discussions with regard to how our economy should be run and also how to promote peaceful industrial climate. This was the first time. In 2020, there was a similar consensus, the national consensus, which was held in the Eastern region. This time around, the second part will be taking place where other issues concerning the economy will be discussed.
From farmers tilling the land, to health workers, healthcare workers on the front line of healthcare delivery, from the teachers shaping young minds, to the artisans crafting our infrastructure, from the workers powering our industries and utilities, to those supplying our public services. Each one of you plays a vital role in shaping the present and future of our nation. Your resilience, perseverance, and unwavering spirit are the bedrock of our progress, and for that we are very grateful. It is in admiration of and gratitude for these significant contributions to the growth and development of our nation that I have, since my assumption of office as President in January 2017, attended every May Day celebration, even at the height of COVID-19, when the celebration was held virtually. As we approach the upcoming elections in 2024, it is imperative that we recognize the crucial importance of maintaining peace and stability throughout the electoral process. Elections are the cornerstone of democracy, providing a platform for the expression of the popular will and for the peaceful transfer of power when required. However, they also have the potential to divide rather than unite, if not conducted in a peaceful and transparent manner.
You heard President Akufo Adu earlier speaking at the Midday celebration today. Some minutes ago, earlier you heard our Labour Affairs correspondent Daniel Opoku bringing us a wrap of what happened earlier today. Now, National Chairman of the governing NPP, Stephen Ntim, says that the party will do everything possible to bring Kwabena Adu back to the NPP. The three-time former Member of Parliament contested the May 30 Ejiso parliamentary by-election after he broke away from the governing party over a misunderstanding. He went ahead to garner some 43.24% of the valid vote as against the NPP's Kwabena Boateng, the eventual winner, with 55.79%. Now, speaking to 3FM's William Evans Inkum, Stephen Ntim feared continued disintegration and disaffection within the party could spell doom for the NPP going into the December elections.
Represented by Owusu Edomi, splitting and leaving the camp. And personally, as chairman of the party, I'm not comfortable. We should be able to bring them all back to the fold, the party's fold, so that come December 7th, there will be no surprises.
What biggest lesson has the party learned?
There are always lessons to be learned, but unless you, can you also point out some of these lessons to me?
Well, I think fractures at the party's front is something that is very obvious. Well, I mean, the reason why people are even going independent, your own people going independent and what have you, my colleague even just mentioned the credibility of the voters album, even at the constituency level and what have you.
I cannot say that all the albums in all the constituencies are foolproof. I cannot stand here and vouch. But it's not widespread. It is not widespread. If you find one or two places where this thing is occurring, doesn't mean all the albums should be rejected and new albums to be recompiled. No, that's not a good thing.
And you heard that Chairman of the NPP, Stephen Ntim, speaking to William Evans Inkum. Meanwhile, the national poll tracker, Global Info Analytics, has observed that voter apathy is real in the Ashanti region. He's asking the NPP to work hard to deal with the situation, especially moving towards the December 7 general election. And that's how we end the news here on 3FM. Our top stories. Chieftaincy Ministry denies reports that President Akufo Adu asked the overlord of Gonja land, the Yagbonwura, to stand up to greet him as custom demands. We brought you more as report emerged that there is tension brewing between governing NPP and opinion leaders over the president's recent visit to the northern region. Also, National Chairman of NPP, Stephen Ntim, says the party will begin reconciliation talks with failed independent parliamentary candidate for Ejiso Kwabena Adu. Of course, as Ghana joins the rest of the world to observe World Workers' Day, the Civil and Local Staff Association of Ghana, CLOCSAC, is calling on civil servants to vote for a government that will uphold the integrity of the service in the upcoming elections. We also heard from the president. Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Good afternoon.